Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? Nah, nah, nah. No drama, no drama, yeah. Nah, nah, nah. No drama, no drama, yeah. Nah, nah, nah. No drama, no drama, yeah, yeah.
Hey y'all, happy Tuesday and welcome to Cleaning Life with Kia. So first of all, let me apologize for the brief delay. So kind of have kind of a little treat for you all this afternoon. So it just kind of, took us a minute to kind of get some things figured out, but I'm here, we're here. Happy Tuesday again. And thank you all so much for being here. My name is Kia. Yes, and this is Planning Life with Kia. I am the owner and founder of Help Now. It is a small cleaning and decluttering home management business here in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area and surrounding areas. And that's what I do. I do cleaning, general cleanings, deep cleanings, decluttering, organization, anything that pertains to household management. That is what we do. So I'm just using my business here as a platform to just kind of, share tips, spread awareness, just talk about all the things when it comes to cleaning and life. Like I say all the time, we can't get away from our household responsibilities. That is just something that we just have to do. I mean, we can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. This podcast may not be appealing to everybody because this is important to me. It's important to a lot of other people, but it's not important to everybody. So it's not for everybody, just like everything else. But for those that just living this life every day, hey, you got to clean your house. You have to have organization. You have to maintain your household management. So I'm just we're really going through these things together. Again, like I said, my business is Help Now, and our mission is to help our clients manage their home and organize parts of their lives that matter the most by bringing families and communities together through complete household management. We have a passion to help heal and nourish our clients through life, whether they need help now or later. So, yay. If it's your first time here, welcome. And for those that are returning, welcome back. Thank you all so much for being here this evening. It is a lot going on. We just have a lot going on. It's 8 o'clock. I told myself last week I've been on this thing where I've been trying to get to bed between like 8:30, no later. At the very latest, like 10 p.m. So even for me, I'm holding on because it's 8 o'clock. It's a little bit after 8. So I know my bedtime is coming and I still have other things to do. So I really appreciate, taking out the time, catching the show live. And also, if you're catching a replay, I really appreciate it because you don't have to, sit around and, listen to me chat and all that. But I'm going to be bringing some good stuff this evening. Just hold tight. So for those that are returning, you already know, I like to do my little ramble. And for those that are new, I always kind of just ramble a little bit. Like I said, this is Cleaning Life. And, we have to do our cleaning, but we have to do it amongst life. So I have a life. I have a very full life. I have a full-time job and I do my business. I have 4 boys that I am raising and I have just so many other things going on. So it's like I have to manage my household, but I also have to manage my life, and it all just collides all the time, every day. As soon as I wake up, it's just all there together. And so we're all really just on this journey together. So it's just good to just kind of talk about things and, take a deep breath, before I dive into my topic tonight. So, first of all, the whole world is just a mess right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm not even going to get into all of that because every time I'm on here, like every 2 weeks that I'm on, all the time. All the time. It's like you can't catch a break. And most of the time, it's not really good stuff. But we just have to keep each other lifted and we have to keep a positive disposition about ourselves because complaining isn't going to get us anywhere and being in a bad space isn't going to get us anywhere. And so we just have to, just hold each other's hand through this journey and just speaking of life and everything that's been going on, it seemed like life just be so full. So since the last 2 weeks we talked, like so much has happened. Like I can't even like name it all. I'm just talking about me personally. I'm not even talking about the world. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just glad I've been making it. It's just been a lot. And I just do that pretty much being grateful and don't complain. But it has been like hot and heavy, hot, literally pertaining to. So my son that works with me, Kabai, he's been on the show a few times. Um, he burned his hand really bad and he had to have surgery. So that was a lot, just for him. First of all, it was a lot, a lot. And then it was a lot for me just being his mom, because it's like, okay, we got emergency room visits, we have burn center visits, we have surgery visits, we have post-surgery visits. It's just been a lot that's been going on. And then considering that he hurt his hand, he hasn't been able to work alongside me. And so I um, heavily, won't say heavily, like it's like stressful for him, but he plays a big role in the Help Now operation. You know what I'm saying? So with him hurting his hand, they kind of took him out the game. So then I've been having to service our clients alone. So I mean, I can do it. I wasn't afraid, but it was like, I'm just kind of used to him kind of being there. He's been with me for a little while now, and when I first started in the beginning, it was just me. I started it alone and I worked it alone. So, it was all right, and I didn't complain, and, it was all well, but I'm just so happy that my baby was okay. And it's just a lot. Um, when something like that happens, I mean, he burned it too. So let me tell you. So he was in the kitchen cooking and he was about to fry something with some grease. Okay. So, anytime you're in the kitchen, any kind of kitchen burn, that just sucks, period. So he had the oil on the pot. It was on. I was home. I was in the back. And it was later in the evening. So he just decided to get up. And it was later and like cook something, surprise or something. But so the grease was getting high. But then, as time went on and I figured out like everything that happened. So what happened was he left that grease on too hot. He left it on too long. So when he was supposed to like put whatever in the pot, the fries or whatever, I guess he forgot it was on the stove. So it stayed there longer. So I'm telling you, there was like smoke in the house. That's how hot that grease was. So he went to take the pot off of the eye on the stove and put it somewhere so it could cool down. And when he took it off, that pot, it tilted and it splashed all on his hand. And oh my God. Oh my God. Like it was so bad. You could literally see where like the skin was literally like peeling off of his hand. It was so bad. And listen, I'm a strong mama, and like my mom, I commend my mom. I don't know how she does it. She's a nurse and she is so good at what she does. That is literally her calling, her purpose, because some of the stuff she has witnessed and gone through and seen, and I don't see how she does it. That's not me. Like I'm good at a lot of things, but I don't do well. But I was so proud of myself. I did well. So he was like, Mom, and he handled it like a champ. Like I am just still just impressed how he handled the whole thing. But I didn't freak out or anything, but just as a mom, it's like, oh my gosh. So it was like, okay. And it was on a Sunday night. We ended up having to go to the emergency room, and I'm just having to sit there calmly while my baby is in pain. There's nothing I could do. I tried to get it as comfortable and cool as I could, but I'm telling you that baby had a blister on his hand that was so big, and it was just a lot involved. And initially, the doctor thought that he was going to have to get like a skin graft, and it was going to take some skin off his spine, put it on his hands, and he was worried about the mobility in his wrist. Like it was just a whole thing. But that has passed, and he is recuperating and healing, and he's doing perfectly fine. He took such great care of it, and I had to wrap it, and I was like, oh my God, this is just, we made it. So, just think, having to go through all of that in the whim. And then when all of that's going on, this is leading up until the time. So that happened like on a Sunday. We're getting ready to go out of town because my oldest son, he had graduated from his boot camp training. in San Antonio. So I'm, making plans to go out of town and trying to prepare to see him and trying to take care of goodbye and trying to make sure the other kids are okay. And, life, like I said, it was a whole bunch of life in between working and business and kids. It was just a lot. So, and in the midst of all of that, like I said, I still had to maintain my household and make sure that things were still going, at a flow in the midst of everything that was going on. So it has just been a lot, but I'm just so thankful. And I got a chance to see my oldest son, and he is doing so good. I didn't see him for about maybe 7.5 weeks. So that's a long time. And that was the first birthday that his birthday was like 2 days after graduation. So that was like the first birthday that we weren't going to be like together, like ever in life. So that was a lot. So I had lashes. I had been getting lashes, you know what I'm saying? Like every 2 weeks, I'd give him a little, refills every 2 weeks on my lashes. They'd be so cute. And I'd just be blinking and stuff. But I knew I was going to go to San Antonio to see my kid. And I know me. And I'm not like a crier, like a crybaby, like all the time. But, things that matter. And I know, I'm going to cry. Like I was just prepared. So I just let my lashes like just grow out and fall out. Just all of them just because I knew that when I saw I was going to be crying every time I laid eyes on him. And I did. I sure did. And I was so happy to see my son. And, when you raise your kids and then they start to move on and do other things with their life and other adventures and have other endeavors. And you get a chance to see him. He looks so good, y'all. He looks so handsome and he looks so happy. Like his eyes are they're just bright and glowing. And not that they weren't before, but it's like it's like a, yeah, it's like a new type of happiness, you know what I'm saying? So, as parents, that's all we want to see. Like for me, I want to see them happy, and I just want to see them, full of joy and full of love. And I was so satisfied and happy coming home, just knowing, and I knew that he was okay, but just to see him, like he just living his best little life. And I'm just so proud and I'm just so happy. And we had the best time. So even in the midst of everything that was going on, got a chance to see my baby and spend time with my family. And it was really good. And I mean, and as soon as I got back, I mean, straight at it, like had to come right back. And because I had another doctor's appointment for his hand, and then they've missed days out of school. So they're trying to catch up and they're staying after school life. And I still gotta clean up. I still have to work my business. I still have to mop my floors. I still have to do my laundry. I still have to do all of those things. So it can be done. We just have to put ourselves in a position to get it done. So tonight I thought that we have a little treat and we're going to present some slides tonight, some before and after pictures. And so for my business, people hire me. Like I said, before, people hire me to come in, but everybody can't hire someone to come into their house. Some people don't like people in their houses. Sometimes they're just different factors, and maybe people just need tips and they need advice and they just need some guidance on how to get things done on, themselves and for themselves. So, for me, having this business, I just want people to have more confidence about their cleaning skills and abilities. Not only will it help you, but it'll help other people. You'll be able to help other people. Okay, so we're starting with our first slide. Okay, she put it up. So this is a before on a refrigerator that we had to clean. Kabai and I, we had to clean this particular house. We cleaned the majority of this particular house, and I don't have the whole house on my slides. It was just a refrigerator, but this project took about 17 hours, not the refrigerator, but the house altogether. But the refrigerator, it took some time because as you can see, it's a lot going on in there. It's chicken, open chicken. It's chicken juice, chicken blood. I don't know. It was some stuff kind of at the bottom we really couldn't identify. That's a lot going on with the refrigerator. So I just want people to see, that this is really like every refrigerator that I've done, this has probably been the worst refrigerator. It's probably been the worst refrigerator. But outside of that, the other refrigerators that I've done before, they're pretty, like the people let them get out of hand. So I don't judge. I'll be like, how did it get like that? Oh my God. With some of them, but you would be surprised that people be living the same life, the same refrigerators and same issues with this and same issues with that. So I'm not here to judge. I just want to give you tips on how to tackle something like that. And then I know we have the after pictures of that refrigerator, so we got it all handled. So it's like, how do I? So yeah, that's the top of the freezer. That's before. And the freezer was full, but I'm telling you, because of all that stuff that was in there, it was a very, very loud smell. I mean, even if you crack that refrigerator this much or the freezer, it was, the scent would just knock you off your feet. So when we opened that freezer, opened that refrigerator, I'm telling you, it was hard even getting the pictures. Like, we had to hurry up and snap and get to work. So we had already pulled the food out of the freezer before we did the pictures. But even there was a lot of like bugs and gnats. Like, it needed a lot of attention. It needed a lot of work. So in that instance, when you have something that bad, it's like, where do I begin? What do I do? How do I fix this? People don't even know where to begin. And it is quite overwhelming. Like, that is a lot jumping out at you. So just say, if that was your refrigerator or someone's refrigerator that you want to go help them, it's like, how would you start? The first thing is, everything got to go. Everything has to go. So like I said, you have chicken juice, and anytime there's anything with chicken, if I'm preparing chicken in the kitchen, I halfway don't even want the kids to come in the kitchen. They asked me the other day, because I was making them something, and they was like, why you don't ever want us in the kitchen? You making chicken? It's just all those germs. And like, you have to be very careful with chicken, because you'll get sick. You'll get sick, and you don't know, like, some of that stuff, it'll drip somewhere and you don't know, you touch it, and then there's that. So I try to be very, 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 very careful when I'm dealing with cooking, dealing with chicken, or in that case, cleaning. And it was just a lot of other stuff. It was like everything up in there. But, what do you do? The first thing you're going to do, yeah, that's the after. And there's some afters of that refrigerator and the freezer, top part of the refrigerator. So the first thing you want to do is, everything has to go. You have to get everything out of the refrigerator. You have to get a trash bag, and you have to get you some good gloves. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to get to work. And I mean, and it was like slimy. It was smelly. Like, it was some work. It was different. And after you get everything out of the refrigerator, all of the everything up out of there, what you're going to want to do is, you want to take all the fixtures out. You want to take everything out. Anything that will detach, take it out. And what I had to do in that case, because just think, when you take those fixtures out, they're not going to fit in the sink like that. You have to be very careful not to break the glass. What we did was line the table. There was a table in front of the refrigerator. We lined the table. We took the attachments out. We took everything out. And let me tell you, so I've come on here before, and I'll do it again, because people need reminding, and I get new viewers all the time. I'll suggest different, tools and supplies that can be used while cleaning. And let me tell you, I highly recommend a steamer. Like, when I tell you, you can use this thing for everything, you can use it for everything. And this was a game changer while cleaning that refrigerator. And so if you get a steamer, it has attachments, and it just kind of hook on, and then you can have an attachment on the end, and it's like a flat attachment, because you can clean your furniture, your curtains, your windows. I have other things on the slide this evening as well, where where you can use a steamer. But this was the best thing going. If we didn't have this steamer, we would not have survived that project. I mean, we would have survived, but it would have been very, it would have been very bad. It would have been very bad. It would have been very long, and we would have just been out of it. So this was a game changer. This steamer. We took all of those attachments out, and we steamed it. So you have that hot steam, and it just steams, like all that stuff. It got all of that stuff, and so it made it very soft. It sprayed all the gunk away, and then all the stuff that was on there that was kind of hardened or whatever, it made it to where we could actually like scrub it, actually just get down to what we needed to to clean, we did the same thing on the inside of the refrigerator. We used the steamer on the attachments. We used the steamer on the inside. And then after we got everything kind of broke down using the steamer, baby, I had to go to town with some bleach. Now, you know, you have to be careful with the bleach, but you know, you got that chicken. It was everywhere. Like, listen, we had to pull out the arsenal with that cleaning. I've mentioned this before. Sail suds. This stuff is really, really good and it's concentrated. You put it in a spray bottle, add a little water, and I'm telling you, it breaks that stuff all the way down. So between the sail suds and the bleach water and this steamer, we were able to get amazing results with that refrigerator. I mean, that refrigerator looked brand new on the inside when we were done. So again, a steamer, sail suds, bleaching water, gloves, you know, and just be prepared to go to work. When you're going into any type of situation with cleaning, you're going to just have to have a prepared mind. So that's our refrigerator clip. And we're going to move on to our next one. Okay, so our next clip, we have this. This is a shower. This is a nice walk-in shower. And it is a lot of mildew and just soap, hard soap, scum, all of that stuff. This particular person was in the hospital. The bathroom this belonged to, she was in the hospital, I mean, for an extremely long time. I think this person was in the hospital for like almost a year or something. So I just think even before they had went in, it wasn't a lot of care because the person was sick, didn't feel well. So basically they're just getting in the shower and showering, but you do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you don't clean it. Like, this is what happens. And when you see that shower door, you can barely see through it. Like if you see out to the side, so that's the floor and that's the, yes, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's going on. And then you'll see the after. So that is after we were done with that shower. Got that glass popping. Look at that glass. That whole shower looks amazing. We did a great job. So again, for a job like that, again, steamer. And to be honest with you, that job was done before we got the steamer. So we worked. Baby, when I tell you we worked. If you don't have the right products and you don't have the right tools, that job, I mean, you will break a sweat. And I'm sure, I know we did. But it could have gone so much easier with a steamer. Please get a steamer. Like, if you have any of these issues or know someone with any of these issues, it is just good to have these tools in your arsenal. That floor, I'm telling you what we did use. This is really good too. So Mr. Clean extendable tub and towel scrubber. I bought me another one. I bought us another one. And it extends. So for people, you know, that don't want to be all, you know, bending all over, or, you know, can't be bending all over anymore, you know, you can keep one of these in your shower. And this is just good because if you keep it in your shower, just use it while you're in there. Just kind of, you know what I'm saying? And then it won't build up like that. This was just neglected for a very, 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 very long time. And we put in a lot. We put in a lot of work. And it's the same thing. Get you some really good cleaning materials. Again, the sail suds. It's very, 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 very good, very effective. And if you don't have a steamer, and I mean, and that door was tall and it was wide, and we worked really hard to get it like that. And that was by hand, but that has never happened again since I've gotten the steamer. It just breaks that stuff, and that stuff just melts, literally just melts away. So effortless when you have the steamer. But isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. And even on the floor, we couldn't get everything because it sat there for just so long. You know, it's just only so much you can clean. Like, I'm gonna clean it and get it literally as clean as it can get. And if it's still something there, it's just because it ain't coming clean. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna have to do something else. But yeah, that's a shower, inside walk-in shower. steamer, or you can get a scrubber. Get that scrubber if you don't have that. And I say the scrubber if you don't mind doing the manual work, but you can get an electric scrubber. I didn't bring that on here. I've already displayed it here before on another episode, and I'm sure I'll do it again at some other point. But an electric scrubber would help. And I mean, it will help like save your back, and it'll help save your joints, because cleaning is not for the faint. Like, even when you just cleaning up your own house, people will get winded. So just imagine going to other people's houses and they just, you know what I'm saying? And basically you got to fix it. You got to make it all better. So what I'm learning now, especially with me getting older, is doing more research and figuring out what tools, I can use to make life better for myself. And you still have to make sure that it's effective, because this is my business, so people pay me to make sure that they get these type of results all the time. So that's before and after on the shower. Again, steamer. And let's see, we can move on to our next clip. Okay, so laundry. This is like the vein to a lot of people's existence, laundry. And that's one thing I don't struggle with, because I can't deal with it. Like, I've seen it to where they'll have a whole bunch of dirty clothes that need to be washed, and it's just piles of, these are clean. But they'll be dirty, and they'll be just that much or more, and it's all dirty. Or it'll be in that case where they're clean and then no one has just hung them up or folded them up. So that's a lot of clothes. And let me tell you, what you see is like nothing how it is in person, like when you're actually there, because you just see kind of like the pile of clothes, but you don't see what's under it, like the layers of clothes and things that are under. It was like, just, all kind of stuff. And then there was stuff on the floor. There were a bunch of shoes. That room consisted of shoes and clothes. That whole room was shoes and clothes. So when you're dealing with those clothes, I wonder if anybody would know like the first thing that you would need. So even before you start a task like that, and it's just your house. This is how I think, but this is how I think, like even in my client's house, I think like that in my own. You would think like, where do I start? I don't know where to start. So you just have to gather your thoughts and figure out what it is that you're going to need to be able to achieve the task without having to stop and go get whatever it is you need later. Just, think about it. So in that case, what would you think that you would need first to have on hand before you even started? And the answer is hangers. You would need hangers. You have all those clothes, you're going to need some things folded up and hung up. So, you're going to need, hangers, and you're going to need space in your drawers, which my client didn't really have at the time, because as you can see at the bottom of the the after pictures, I still some clothes on the bed, but they are folded up. And the reason is because there was not any room anywhere in that whole entire house where I could put another thread of anything. Because this particular client, we need to go and we need to do some decluttering, but this client is always out of town, always on the go, always have something going on. So it's just kind of hard catching them at home. And it's hard texting, catching them at home. So it's hard I'm not going to declutter. I can't declutter without the client being there, because they have to tell me what they want to get rid of and what they want to keep and yada, yada, yada. So I just have to do the best that I can. So in that situation, when you have a bunch of clothes like that, I would suggest not just going in there, just picking up stuff and go to hanging and folding and doing. Like, you have to have a plan. There's like phases and stages to all of that. To everything that you do, every room, every cleaning scenario, there are like phases and stages to it. So in that case, you would grab a bunch of hangers, a whole bunch. And my client had already texted me or called me and told me, like, hey, I got a whole bunch of clothes. It's a lot. Like, that's one thing I do requires that, my clients be real honest and transparent, because I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. I can't help you if you don't tell me the truth. All that I'm shamed or embarrassed, I don't want to hear that. I just need to know what's going on, so I don't go over there and be frustrated, because I actually like what I do. So don't make it hard for me. You know what I'm saying? When I come over. So let me know what's going on so I can tell you what I need from you on your end. and then I can come and just handle business and go home. That's all I want to do. So when they told me that, I'm like, hey, um, they already knew I bought 2 boxes of hangers. Perfect. Now I already knew that they weren't gonna have those drawers and stuff decluttered. So I already knew that I was gonna have to make do and figure out what I had to figure out. So when I walk into that space, I don't just grab hangers and go to folding up stuff here, there, hither and yon. I don't do that. I start separating first. And so I'll just make a pile of pants. I'll take all the pants out, pants, pants, pants. And I have also a pile for shirts. Like everything that I'm going to hang up, I'll have a pile for pants, pile for shirts, pile of things that are going to be folded up and put in drawers. That stuff's separate, like t-shirts, shorts, underwear, stuff like that. So once I separate everything, I have a whole big pile of pants, have a whole big pile of shirts. This is everything that need to be folded. Boom. I'm going to that pile of pants and I'm going to take my time and I'm going to put those pants on the hanger. Boom, 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 boom. Get them all hung up. Pants are done. Gone. Then I'm gonna move over here to this pile of shirts and the, the hoodies and all that stuff, the sweaters, all that stuff that needs to be hung up. I'm gonna hang everything up. Put it up. And what I've done in this client's home, and he really likes this, I separated he has 2 separate closets. And I mean, so many clothes. I can't just believe how many clothes this person have. They have so many clothes. So one closet is for his pants only. Just a closet full of pants. So I was able to get all the pants on the hanger in the closet full of pants, and they're all organized. And I try to color code them as much as I can, if I have time. And then I do the same thing with the tops and hoodies and shirts or whatever. And then once I hang everything up, then I go to folding all the underwear, all the t-shirts, and, all the stuff like that. Now, what I don't do is I don't match. So people have to make an executive decision when it comes to matching socks, depending on how much you have. You just think, look at all those clothes right there. Can you imagine how many socks are in there? So I tell my clients, like when I do your laundry, I'm not gonna fool with them socks, because first of all, it's too tedious. And just think, if I was to sit there and try to match all the socks, I would be there forever. And then just imagine me matching socks at like my rate. Let's say at this rate, it might have been 65 an hour or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be economical for the client for me to just be sitting there matching socks. But what I will do is a courtesy, like if I happen to run across some that they match, I'll fold them up, no problem. But I always just try to designate a spot, whether it's a laundry basket or something that's just for socks only. And then the client can decide, what they want to do with those socks later. If they want to go back and try to match them or get rid of them. Some people just throw all damn socks away and just start from scratch. That's probably what I would do when it's something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just going to be too much. But I fold up the underwear and t-shirts and stuff like that, and then I'll place them in the drawers. So I have my pants folded up out the way. I have my tops, hung up and out the way for my pants, and then I have my tops hung up and out the way. And then everything that I need to fold, I have everything like in a row. I have all the t-shirts, I have all the underwear, I have all of this, all of that need to be folded up. And then I put them all in the drawers, and that's what I did. And even though he needs to declutter, what I did do is I went through the drawers and I straightened up as much as I could. Like, I really take care of my clients. And sometimes I do a little bit extra and above. And that's just how I am. I mean, I try to do that most of the time. I can't do it for everybody, but everybody gets their money's worth. They get done what they pay me for, and then some. But like some clients, I just know certain things and I can move. I have a different motion with them. Like this client in particular, like been my client for years now. So I just know. And when I go to this client's house, they're like, this your house. This your house. So if you got to go in there, whatever you do, I know whatever you do, you're going to make it better. You're going to make it good, kids. So whatever you feel like you need to do, have at it. So that's what you want to do there. When you go into it, just know that, just be real with yourself and know that you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the typical, I get paid to do it and I don't mind doing it, but for the average person, when they're having to deal with circumstances like that, like this particular client, like they don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But just say they had to do it. You have to go in there with a game plan. You can't go in there all reluctant with no plan. It's just going to go bad. You're going to frustrate yourself and it's just only going to get worse. Just don't do that. You're just going to have to gear up and just say, hey, I'm going to spend a day. I'm going to spend the day. I'm going to go in this room and I'm going to do this on Saturday. So this week, maybe you're talking to yourself on a Monday. This week, I need to go and I need to get me some hangers. I need to order me some from Amazon and have them delivered. And I'm going to start with my pants. And like for me, I'm getting paid, so I'm going to move different. But if you're at home and you're kind of doing it at your own pace, you may just say, well, let me just get the clothes separated today. You may just take a day separating it, and it takes time. Be like, let me just get this stuff separated. And then you may go back and say the next day, okay, let me hang up everything that needs to be hung up. Let me hang up the pants. Let me hang up the tops. You know what I'm saying? And that may be the second day. And then maybe you need to come back another day and just say, okay, now the rest of this stuff, let me separate the socks. And then let me fold up the other stuff. And then I'll be done. Like I'm on a time frame when I'm going because I'm getting paid. And plus, I just know how to go in and execute. But for people that are reluctant to do it and don't want to do it and not used to cleaning and all of that stuff and don't want to clean, you got to have a plan. You know what I'm saying? You got to get it done. Or, you can't just live like that every day. And if you do, you're going to be stressed out and you're going to be very unhappy unless you're just used to living like that. And, some people, they can thrive in chaos. But, if you're here on this, on this podcast and like most people can't handle that. So hangers and a plan. Clear your space with your drawers if you can, so you can have room for all of that stuff that needs to be folded. And just do it, and don't overwhelm yourself. If you want to give yourself a week to get it done, probably wouldn't stretch it out that long, but maybe 3 to 4 days. Give yourself 3 to 4 days so you don't stress yourself out. I mean, and you're in your home. I can only be in your home for a certain amount of time, a certain amount of hours. But if you're in your home and you can stretch it out a few days for your sanity, do that. Don't overwhelm yourself. So moving along. Our next clip, okay, so now we just have a client of mine, and it's such a difference. So this cabinet that they have, this wood cabinet, I'm telling you, the first pic is just all dull and lifeless. And then the second picture is all shiny and beautiful and stuff. So easy fix on the cabinet like that. So first of all, if you haven't done anything to your furniture in some while, you understand there's going to be like spider webs and cobwebs and all that stuff. So what you want to do, what I typically do, is I'll get my little duster, and you can just dust it off real good and get that dust off and those webs and stuff like that. Or you can get you a like a microfiber cloth. And that's really good about getting all that dust and all those cobwebs off. You can use that, or you can use them both. Just kind of dust it real fast, kind of, in between the cracks and crevices and stuff like that. And then you can just kind of take the microfiber cloth if you want to and just kind of dust it down. Now, in order to maintain, or not maintain, but gain that shine, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it a million times, and I love it. Lemon oil is so good for bringing things back to life and like polishing your wood, and it doesn't take that much. So what I did is, so when I order mine, I try to order stuff, in bulk, because I clean and I'm going to use a lot of this stuff all the time. So I ordered it on Amazon, and it was in bulk. It was probably, I think it's like 4 like gallons of it. And it was like probably like $90, I think. But I'll use it forever, because it doesn't take much. And all I did was I poured some into like this little condiment container, the little thing they have at the restaurant, with the ketchup and mustard and shit, just grab one. And I got it from like Dollar Tree and just poured it in there. And this is how I take it when I go to my client's house, so I don't have to carry that big old gallon, a big old container of lemon oil. But anyway, then you can take your cloth, and it only just takes a little. When you look at the picture, it looked like it's so shiny. It looked like it could be all greasy and oily, but it's not. It's really, really not. You take a little bit on your cloth and, just gently wipe it. I'm telling you, a little goes a long way. And before you know it, voila, it is all done. Um, and it looks brand new and it looks so good. It looks like a completely different cabinet. So just a little lemon oil, your duster, and a microfiber cloth. And that's all that it takes, and the wheel to get it done. Um, and that's that on that one. Do we have any more slides, or was that it? Let's see. I think that is all. Okay. I think that's all. So, like I said, this just kind of gave me the opportunity to show you a little bit of my work and what we do at Help Now, and just kind of wanted to offer some tips and just some advice on how to get through your cleaning, and you just never know. Like when you may have to be of service to someone else, like I know how to do those things, but it's just so cool that I'm able to walk into other spaces and do that, and I do it and I get paid. But then there are other spaces where I don't get paid. Like it's my family members. I've helped my family members like over the years, just being able to recognize what needs to be done, having a positive disposition about it all. That's the first thing. Like some people absolutely positively hate cleaning and hate doing that type of work. But when you're adulting, unless, like I said, you have someone coming in your home and you can afford for someone to come in your home every so often and do that, there are just some things you're gonna have to do. And even if you can't afford um someone, to come in, like they don't live there. You have to maintain your space. So I mean, they don't live there. So you have to know what to do. And for me, it's like a blueprint because I go, like I thought I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, I have a lot of clients and I'm so grateful. But I'm like, I have a lot of clients. So um, let's see, watching you from space station. How's it going? Watching you from space station. What? Well, hey. And I'm just so thankful. So like my last show, I had so many views. I was so excited. So I get so excited. I mean, I really don't care like how many I get. I get excited regardless. It doesn't matter. So I'm not like keeping count. But I just think when you have like a podcast and you're on here and just for us, like my segment is an hour long. So to be able to hold someone's attention, especially now in this time, day and age, if someone can hold your attention for an hour, like that is a big deal. That is a big deal. So then I saw all these people, who took the time to, check me out and check out my show. I really, really, really appreciate it. But I'm just really here to help y'all. I don't know. This world a mess. It's a hot mess out here. And I say this all the time. If we don't learn, I'm telling you, to literally just fall back into a space where we're doing things on our own, being in a space to help other people, like we're just not gonna make it. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to say. We're just not gonna make it. I had a client over the weekend and she's 85 years old. She before I started cleaning, I always come in and I speak. I don't just come in people's homes with all my equipment. Yeah, I'm about to go to cleaning. Like I don't do that because I wouldn't want anybody to do me like that. I have to transition and ease into that. People are just getting their day started depending on what time I come there. And I don't want to come in there with all that hurried energy or whatever. But she was just 85 and she was just so concerned, just everything that's going on in the world. But she just sat me down and she said, I just love you so much. And I'm just so grateful for you. You have such a good spirit and you are really here to help me. And the things that I have you do, I can't do it on my own. She's 85 and I think she's had, I think she's fallen and I think she's hurt her hip, broken her hip like twice or something. Now she gets around good, but there's just some things that she need help. She has big, a nice area with her floors, and so she need me to come in and, sweep real good and mop real good and just, get down in those low places. And, her heart was just so soft because she was like, you can't trust anybody and nobody even want to help, even if you pay them. Now, that's the truth. Now, that's what I've learned. You cannot pay people to do the right thing these days. You can't pay for them to care. You can't pay for nothing. It's almost like money don't even have value anymore. People don't care about nothing. So when you come across people that actually are uh, moving in their purpose, and I truly believe, and I truly know, not I believe, I know that with this cleaning, because it's like, y'all saw that refrigerator. Like anybody else would have probably just been like, hell no. The end and just walked out. No. No. And even Kavai, like his eyebrow was like, Mom. Like he just couldn't see. And he does it often. Like he knows it's gonna get done, but sometimes the situation is so different. Like even he can't perceive like the out results. But like when I do my assessment, that's why I love doing assessment before I actually come in and do the actual cleaning. When I'm there, I stand there and I'm looking and my mind is just going the whole time. And I can literally envision what this space is going to look like once we're done. The job is already done in my mind, and I don't accept any um, cleaning jobs that I feel like I couldn't do. And there's never been someone where I've said, no, I can't do this. This is too much. Now, I'm not saying it is not going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just so grateful that, up until this point, that hasn't been the case. We've been able to go in and execute and make our clients very happy, very, very happy up until this point. I mean, I've had clients, I'm telling you, like 4 or 5 years, like consistent. And I'm just blessed and grateful. And I never complain and I never judge. It's my purpose. And like people really be needing help. Like, and this is like with me, I be needing help. There's some things like I can't do everything. There's just some things that I'm just not the best at. I'm not good at, and I would just prefer other people to do it for me. But it's the quality of help that you receive when people do it with a grateful heart and a sincere heart, and an intentional heart. It just makes all the difference in the whole wide world. And even with that, you can pay people to come in and clean your house and they'll still do a shitty job. Like I've heard stories. So I don't ever want to be that person, and I don't ever want my reputation to be ruined as far as my cleaning, because I hold a very high, standard when it comes to, the cleaning. So that was just some befores and afters, and I just wanted to give y'all some tips. And I know, like for cleaning tools like steamers and those electric scrubbers and stuff like that, people get a little apprehensive. And like even with the mop bucket that I have, like it's different, but it's not complicated, but it is different from a standard like mop. So it's like with my mom, when I introduce something to her that's new, so far as like something she can use for like cleaning, she like, oh girl, that's so good. She be saying that. I go back home, ain't used it not one time, not one bit. So she's always a little bit reluctant to start using it because it's something new. So don't be afraid to try something new. I can be the same way sometimes, but I couldn't be more pleased. Like that steamer, like baby, I'm going back on Amazon and I'm getting another steamer. I'm gonna have me 2 or 3 steamers actually, because that thing is amazing. Like I said, if you have fabric furniture, cleans your furniture, clean your curtains without you having to take your curtains down. You can just clean them right there where they are. You can clean the windows. You can help with the floors, the refrigerator, literally anything. And you would think that it's just hard and complicated. It's not. Now with the steamer, you do have to be safe because that steam, it boils up in that thing, and if you try to take that lid off too soon while it's still hot, like it blow your face off. So just don't do that. But other than that, like invest in that type of stuff and get used to using it, because you're only going to get older. Like I'm noticing, like with me, like I'm getting older and I can clean and I can do some stuff, with my hand. But if I can do it a better way or easier way, I would prefer to do that. And like I said, if I can just get acclimated and accustomed to using it now, or if you can get acclimated and accustomed to using it now, as time go on, it won't feel so foreign when you use it, and it won't feel like a hassle. When you got to go to plug and stuff up, people like, oh, you got to charge stuff, people. But at the same time, people got to learn how to be lazy. Stop being lazy. Stop being lazy. And that's you know, as far as using the tools, and just letting your house be a certain way. Like you can't be lazy. And I know a lot of people be like, I'm tired and I be working all day, and I be like, listen, I get it. And it's hard to convince me, because I'm doing the same thing that y'all doing, if not more. Like I said, 4 children. It's 3 at the house now, but just because that older one is gone don't mean he ain't, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go to Costco or Sam's this week and buy them some stuff, some snacks and stuff for them to have, and have it shipped out. So in the middle of everything I have to do at home, there's so much that. So I know you just have to push through. And it's like, if you don't feel like it, you know what? You probably need to drink more water. You probably need to eat better. You probably need to get some more sunlight. You probably need to tighten your diet up. Like, there are other things that you can do to make yourself feel better, so that you'll have the energy to carry out these tasks. They're not going to get done by themselves. And nobody's coming to save you. I say that all the time. No one's coming to save you. You will be very happy and lucky if you have people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the type of person, I'm the type of friend, like, shoot, if I come to your house or something and you got a pile of clothes on the couch, I'm probably gonna be sitting there talking to you like, girl, and I'm gonna be helping fold up clothes, like stuff, stuff like that. Or if we sitting there talking in the kitchen, pouring some wine, and I see dishes and stuff like I'm the kind of person, like, I'll just start washing the dishes or something like that. Like, I would prefer to do that. And I'm not saying like every time we hang out or something like that, that's what I do. But sometimes you can like notice when people need help, and people would rather take their energy and be doing other things. Not to say that you're not deserving to have a good time or just chill and drink some wine or whatever it is that you do. But you have to handle your responsibilities first and foremost. And it's like, for me, I can't rest at night knowing that I got 50 million things that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And then that's the rollovers into your kids. And then listen, what happens when your kids grow up and then they nasty? Oh, like, I didn't raise you like that. Like I'll be saying all the time, I don't want nobody saying, your mama didn't teach you shit. Like, yes, I did. I did teach them shit. I did. Yes, I did. You know what I'm saying? So it's all like a reflection. And like with my oldest, I know when he was able to get like phone privileges back after he graduated or whatever, I'll be like, what you doing? We be on the phone. Like, you put him, I'm cleaning my room. I'm folding my clothes up. I'm hanging them up. I'm putting stuff. And I'm like, and there you go. Life skills. Like, they're going to need them regardless, period. So don't, especially if you have children, don't hinder your kids. And it's going to help you in the long run. I thought about this because I be thinking all ahead of the game. So my youngest is 13, so he'll be the last one at the house when the other ones are gone. I got a senior this year too, so I already got one that's gone. I have a senior this year, and then my next baby, he's in the 10th grade. He'll be out pretty soon, and then it'll be Eli. So like, I got a little late start with Eli. Now he be on his job. Listen, I got him doing everything now, but he's having a hard time, like, mentally trying to get into the routine, because it's like he don't want to do it. But I'm like, baby, you're not going to be stuck up in the house with me, the last one in the house with me. So just think, when you get older and you're a senior, 11th, 12th grade, something like that, just think how much older I'm going to be. So you need to know how to help. You know what I'm saying? Just like the other ones. And again, baby, I'm not going to be standing up behind them kids like that. And there'd be a lot of problems with there'd be a lot that be going on with a lot of like people like service, my clients and stuff. They have children and they didn't require their children, they didn't rear them that way. So now it has come back to bite them in the butt, because the house is a mess and the kids are just sitting up in the house playing video games, or like, this not even a thought that they help, and they don't even know how. They don't even know how. So at this point, it's like, now y'all just in the way. You don't know what you're doing, and then the parents get frustrated. Don't be frustrated. either you need to be okay with doing it yourself, B, hiring somebody, or C, you need to be okay with having some patience and teaching them, and then you just have to work through the fact that they're going to be reluctant because that's just something they don't want to do. Like my kids, it's not like, oh my God, mama, please, I can't wait to come home and clean my room. I can't wait till my dish week. It's never that. They never say that. You know what I'm saying? But it's an understanding, and it has to be, um, it has to be an understanding. Like, hey, for me, trust you would prefer to wash these dishes than get out here and be doing all the stuff that I have to do. Working this job, running this business, paying bills, doing all that. So trust me, y'all get the lighter end of it with just having a dish week and keeping up with your laundry. And like I said, you're gonna get out of here one day. Like you can't be up in here with me like that. No, you got to go see what it is. So you're gonna have to be able to help yourself. You're gonna have to help yourself first. And then, like I said, I'm getting older, so hopefully, you'll be able to come reach back and be like, well, Mom, I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna sweep and mop your floors for you, or I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna wash your windows, or didn't you say you needed this done? And not only will you have a willing heart to do it, you'll actually know what it is that you're doing, because the only thing I hate worse than somebody not helping at all is somebody half-ass helping. I would just rather you just leave it alone and not do anything at all. So, y'all. So thank y'all so much. It's already that time. I have chitty chat and rambled all this time, and now it's up. My time is up. So I will see you all in 2 weeks. I hope that you all get all of your cleaning dreams and endeavors accomplished between now and the next time that we speak. Just don't get overwhelmed with your doing. Pace yourself. Give yourself grace. Come up with a plan. And if you need any more tips, just go back and catch some of my earlier episodes. I'm always dropping some gems and, just really trying to, keep it light, on the cleaning side. But, it's always cleaning, it's always life, and it's always everything in between. So I really appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all stay safe. Y'all be easy out there. Smile a lot, encourage a lot. It's just a lot going on right now. And I've noticed that I've just been hit like complaints. People have been complaining. I'm just not in the spirit for complaint, from hearing complaints and all of that. So try to be positive. You know what I'm saying? Like watch what you're saying, how you're saying it. When you're walking into situations where you can kind of uplift the situation, do that, because nobody want all the negativity. Nobody want all the gray clouds. Life is hard enough. And then when you get home from the outside and you come in and you close your door, there's a whole nother world waiting for you when you get home that nobody knows about. So if you could just give somebody something good before they come in and close the door, that would just be so awesome, y'all. So I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? No drama, yeah. No drama, yeah. No drama, yeah.